Let you Travis Pastrana here, and you are watching the Thunderclap iRacing series. Grab a good boy and let's go racing.
A new storm has formed in season number 4. It's a grand national tour that ends near the California shores. Home track heroes take on big league talent. OGs return while fresh meat joins the fold. In a competition where fortune only rewards the bold. So who's willing to knock off a few doors? It's about who wants it more in 2024.
This is what you're waiting for. I think we're ready to rock.
Sean Bounty, a third-time winner. Ryan Truex gets it done. Clapper goes 3-1 and passes several cars. Foley comes out of the final corner to win.
Jordan Durasic will win this race.
Here they come across the line. Your race winner is going to be Matt Cherry.
See, in the end, nobody really cares where you got your start. The only thing that matters is where you finish.
He looks to go around the outside, ducks to the inside. It's going to be a 3-wide finish here at Daytona as they cross the line. Robert Walton wins at Daytona. Good evening, race fans, and welcome to another edition of the Thunderclap iRacing series presented by none, of course, than the TLC Incorporated, live from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. It's Throwback Week, as well as a chance to give out some cash, as well as it's also the Pine Gulf Dash for Cash week as well, as we are happy to bring you some exciting racing here tonight. I'm Taylor Burris. Alongside me is going to be my color commentator and producer, Mr. Austin Derbyshire. Austin, as we get set, ready to go racing. Of course, tonight's race is a throwback edition, utilizing the NASCAR Gen 4 cars here tonight. So a lot of teams and drivers have been showcasing some incredible paint schemes from back in the time of the Gen 4 era in NASCAR history. And of course, we're racing at the old school version of the Texas Motor Speedway, just before, of course, the recent updates that we've had here on the service, as well as the repavement and the reconfiguration of Texas Motor Speedway, located in Fort Worth, Texas, as this track here provides some exciting racing, especially the old configuration, where a lot of drivers will be testing the limits here and spending quite a bit of time in the corners compared to any other oval that is on the NASCAR schedule in 2024. Drivers are currently wrapped up with warm-up here. Qualifying has completed as well. Your pole sitter is, of course, none other than Jordan Durasic, who set a time of a 29.221. So it's going to be some exciting racing action here tonight, and we're happy to have you with us here on Grid Vision. Of course, if you or any of your leagues or series is interested in partnering with us here on Grid Vision, make sure to reach out to us on all of our social media platforms, and we'll be happy to bring your league or bring you on as a producer or commentator for any one of our Grid Vision events. Field is just wrapping up their warm-up session before we get started, and we will give you your starting lineup for tonight's racing action here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. Of course, we want to hear from you, the fans. Make sure to tell us in the chat who you are pulling for in tonight's racing action as we get set. Qualifying has completed, warm-ups wrapping up as they get themselves situated here. But a lot of great racing action, a lot of great paint schemes that we will see throughout the night, as well as the timer has expired. And it's going to be time to go 150 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway. A lot of drivers are looking forward to the action here tonight, as a couple of cars are on track right now to get themselves ready for tonight's racing action. And one driver we're watching is Sean Bounty, who's out on the track. He's throwing it back to some great driving as well, along with the 66 machine, the Junior Motorsports car right behind him. The Mountain Dew machine throwing it back to Casey Kane back in the mid-2000s, as well as we have ourselves some great racing action. And now, it is time to give you your starting lineup for tonight's racing action here at Texas Motor Speedway. Starting on the pole position here tonight with a 29.221 will be driver Jordan Durasic. Alongside him will be Christopher Tate. In row number 2, we will find Matt Garrett and Thomas Aaron in 4th position. Row 3 will see Thomas Kohick and Sean Boundy. Noah Rainwater and Matt Cherry will be in row number 4 with Andrew Olazewski and Gregory Shepsis rounding out your top 10. Robert Walton will be starting in 11th with TJ DeBlasi, of course, in 12th position with Matthew Montgomery and Greg McConey in row 7. Row 8 will see Justin Clapper and Stephen Lachinsky in that position with Chase Albright and Brandon Schumann in row 9. Rounding out your top 20 is Brandon Slew and Bo Condon. Ryan Zunk and Anthony Burleson will be in row 11 with Bobby Grant and Joshua Koner in row 12. Todd Lee and Robert Colgan will be in row 13 with Daniel Lyle and Matt Holmes in row 14. Rounding out your field will be Tristan Bruce, Damian Neeson, and Kyle Newkirk be your 31-car field. Of course, tonight's race will be, of course, the first of the Pine Golf Drive for Cash event. Matt Cherry, Thomas Aaron, Jordan Durasic, and Robert Colgan will be the 4 drivers competing in this Dash for Cash event. Of course, the top 4 finishers of these 4 drivers will win round 1 and $50 in cash, as well as automatically qualifying for round 2. The next top 3 finishers will take the other 3 available spots. So you don't necessarily have to win the race, but you got to beat the other competitors in order for you to get the $50 cash. And with this, as the field works their way through, we're going to bring in my co-commentator in here for tonight, Mr. Austin Derbyshire. Austin, it's a great race here tonight, a throwback night, and 4 drivers hungry for $50 cash.
Yeah, throwback night here for Thunderclap, iRacing series presented by TLC. We're very proud to be presenting this, and I believe this actually is the first time we've broadcasted Gen 4 on Grid Vision.
I believe you're right as well, and it's some really great Gen 4 paint schemes. You see old DuPont machine that Mr. Jordan Durasic is racing out there. He's on the front row. Of course, you got the old Steve Park machine driven by Thomas Aaron, an old Home Depot machine by the 04 of Kohick, and a lot of others. We're going to see, of course, some cool ones. I have to say Bo Condon and Matt Cherry with the 45 to Kyle Petty sprint machine is pretty nice as well.
And also with running Old Texas, like this is honestly one of the most legendary car track combos. We haven't seen much great racing at Texas. That's why they did the reconfiguration pretty much since the car tomorrow. But back when these cars raced at Texas in the first 8 years of this track's existence, it was one of the best to watch.
It really was, and it's going to be kind of nice to reminisce and think about them glory days of the NASCAR Gen 4 era. Of course, stages for tonight, lap 35 and lap 90 before we get to 150. Fred, the pace car driver, makes the hard left turn down on the pit road. As the Pine Golf race flag is in the air, it's time to go racing and bring the thunder here at Texas. Field now working their way up to speed. Of course, these cars are generating some immense horsepower here around this circuit, so we're going to see some very high speeds as drivers try to negotiate around the circuit. Already at a turn number 2, Christopher Tate is your race leader in that number 30 Chevrolet as he works his way through and has already checked out to about a 0.3 of a second lead over Jordan Durasic at a turn number 4 to take the lead here to open up tonight's racing action. The thing is, though, big horsepower, that means a lot of tire wear is going to come into play if you don't know how to take care of your car.
Yeah, these cars are known to be a little bit more difficult to control than, say, what the drivers of this league are used to when they're in the Gen 6 or the next gen or the Class B car, the Xfinity car. A lot of power in a small package.
It certainly is, but you know what? These cars provide some incredible forms of racing as we keep an eye on the battle for 4th position. with Sean Boundy, Thomas Aaron, Thomas Kohick, Matt Cherry, Gregory Shepsis, all jockeying around for position here tonight as they work down the back straightaway. We're going to keep an eye on your drivers who are in the hunt for the Dash for Cash. That's currently Matt Cherry, Thomas Aaron, Jordan Durasket, and Robert Colgan. Currently, Durasik holds that top spot in second place. Aaron sits in fourth position. And then you got Matt Cherry in seventh and Robert Colgan, who is the one who started furthest back from the field. He's got a little bit of work to do, but for Robert Colgan, he sits 27th position. So he's got some work to do here tonight in that number 94 machine.
Yeah, Robert Colgan rocking the awesome Mac at Night paint. I've said many times on Grid Vision streams. Probably my favorite paint ever.
I gotta say, it's one of mine as well. Other than the Batman one that the Mac tonight had as well when the Batman was out back in the late 90s. A couple of other cool paint schemes around. How about Joshua Koner driving the Mountain Dew Dodge machine? We got a couple of Mountain Dew machines out there on the track. Of course, we see that one that Koner is driving, driven by Casey Kane and Jeremy Mayfield back in the mid-2000s. Cool paint scheme to see him running out there in the 16.
Yeah, the action started to heat up near the front, though. We have Sean Boundy rocking a slightly different paint, different colors than what we're used to seeing from him. Sean Boundy tonight in the red car, but he's pushing up to third. Speaking of Sean Boundy, we did do driver picks tonight. We just had a little problem with the overlays to begin the race, so weren't able to go through and use the graphic. But my pick tonight, Sean Boundy. Who was your pick tonight?
Well, for me, I decided to go a little different. I went with Justin Clapper as well. He's driving the Connors Cure throwback to the car of the WCW era, and so he's currently having a decent run. We'll keep an eye on him as well. That is my pick for tonight's win.
And we can confirm the story was completed on Sunday at WrestleMania. The weeks leading up to WrestleMania, I know we talked quite a bit about the happenings of that event, especially with Connors Kier being one of the sponsors here.
Absolutely, and they did hit the story as well with hitting over $40,000. That's trouble. Kohick has a big issue around as a big one happens on the front straightaway. Olazewski is around. The 05 machine of Rainwater involved, and a couple of others involved in this one. Bo Condon throwing it back, of course, in the number 25 Delphi machine from Hendrick Motorsports, and several others trying to get their cars resituated.
Yeah, and we also just saw behind the Sunoco sign there, the Valvoline truck, car rather. See, we're calling cars and I call them trucks, and when we race trucks, I call them cars. But replay here, Noah Rainwater getting loose, and the Dale Jr. car just getting sent like Dakota Edstrom last night at Beyblade.
Yeah, tough break indeed as well for a lot of cars. The number 9 machine of Montgomery involved. The 02 of Brandon Slew involved. So not a good way to kick off their night to start the action here. 8 laps are completed, coming on lap number 9 for the moment. So tough break for a lot of heavy hitters who are looking forward to having a good night here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. Of course, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by TLC. TLC is the premier service provider for lawn, sprinklers, outdoor lighting, and drainage solutions in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. Transform your home into a showcase in just one day with a new water-saving lawn sprinkler system, energy-efficient outdoor lighting, or the healthiest backyard in the business. A little lawn goes a long way with TLC. Head to tlcincorporated.com for more information. As they will come down pit road, a couple of drivers such as Noah Rainwater, Kyle Newkirk will stay out on the track. Olazewski throwing it back, of course, to the King of Beers, Budweiser machine. The 94 of Robert Colgan also on pit road. Chase Albright, and one of the old Shell Pennzoil machines, which we've seen race a couple of times in recent throwback races at Darlington.
That's one of my favorite things about the iRacing service is just the plethora of cars that we get on these throwback weeks, whether it be a private one like the league tonight, or when we do race at Darlington or North Wilkesboro now.
Yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of cool throwback paints in a couple of weeks' time, actually, for the Monday night and Friday night top split events at Darlington. So make sure to tune in, and we'll make sure to pick out some of the best paint schemes and maybe see about doing a little bit of a voting session for those who are in the event.
That Grid Vision throwback to last fall. Not that long ago, I guess, but it's a throwback.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see how this all plays out. Christopher Tate is still your race leader. That caution kind of saved him a little bit from getting attacked by Jordan Durasic and Sean Boundy. Thomas Aaron sits in fourth with Matt Cherry rounding out your top 5 at the moment. And Matt Garrett, who's always running a throwback paint with the MTV colors, as Noah Rainwater will receive the EOL penalty for causing that caution.
You could call that a throwback, I guess. They kind of still rock the same logo.
No, well, even though they rock the same logo still, but the thing is, it's just how it looks, I have to say, is the reason why I say it's throwback paint. As we're back at it here, ready to go racing once again. We should be getting the 2 to go signal here in a moment's time. And we'll have you some more great racing action here tonight. Of course, tonight's stages are as followed. Once again, 35 laps to complete the first stage. And then we'll go to lap number 90 for the second stage. And then, of course, we'll head to 150 to complete tonight's racing action as the lights are out on the pace car presented by Connors Cure, as Miss Lizette Montez gives a big shout out to the number 8 of Andrew Olazewski. Of course, for Andrew, not a great night for him so far. He's currently sitting 23rd. He's on the lead lap, so that's a good thing. But he's got a lot of work to do.
I can't see that name Montez without thinking about that one Volbeat song.
This is how we do it?
No, Lola Montez.
Ah, there you go.
So beautiful. I can't sing.
Yeah, it's okay. We're here to have fun, here to throw it back to some great times indeed. As they work their way into turn 3 and 4, we'll be ready to go back racing.
Well, I guess that song is a throwback. It's probably about 10 years old now.
I mean, what would you consider a throwback? 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago? We want to hear from you guys. What would you consider a throwback?
When I pick up a heavy object and my back hurts after, I throw my back out.
True, too, as the green flag presented by Pine Gulf is back in the air. And Christopher Tate, once again, hot off the iron, ready to go once again, and continues to pull away here. Checks out to about a 0.2 of a second lead over Jordan Durasic, but he is under heavy pressure from Sean Boundy, who looks to the inside, side by side. Matt Cherry in the catbird seat, ready to attack, with Garrett and Thomas Aaron wanting to get a piece of the pie as they work through turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, doesn't matter what car we're in. I'm sure if we're racing horses, Jordan Durasic, Sean Boundy would be battling each other.
One way or another, those two are always up towards the front of the field, putting on a stellar show week in and week out here on the Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC Incorporated. And already Sean Boundy, he wants to lead here, but he's got some big help coming from Matt Cherry, who looks to his inside. He wants that $50 and wants to try to take it away. And the best way to do that is to win here tonight out of turn number 4. We're going to almost go 3 wide, still 2 wide for second as they come across the line here, closing in on halfway through stage 1.
And we got Casey Lambert in the chat cheering on Aaron here. And if you are in the chat, definitely, just like it says in the bottom, like and subscribe, and you'll be able to catch all our action here on Grid Vision in the coming weeks of the season.
Absolutely, and of course, we got some great racing action right now. Sean Bounty got a little bit loose out of turn number 2. Gathers it back up and is able to hold on, but still drops back to 3rd position. Matt Cherry sits in 2nd. And looking at the times, Cherry is showing some incredible speed and pace right now. Christopher Tate just ran his fastest lap of the race, but still not as fast as Cherry and Boundy as we watch them. Here comes Cherry to the inside of that number 45 RL Production Chevrolet, but Tate will power back through on the outside of that T-Top Manufacturing Chevrolet. Out of turn number 4, shuts the door in front of them as they cross the line. Speeds approaching 200 miles an hour just before they get into the corner in turn 1 and 2, and you see it gathering back up there. A little bit of a bobble for Tate. This could open the door for Cherry as he tries to look around the outside. Boundy shows down to the bottom of the racetrack here. These big, heavy horsepowered stock cars are putting on a stellar show here. So the question is going to be, how will this play out? And Boundy hits the grass right there a little bit, gathers it back up.
Oh, we have Tate, our leader, in the wall.
Tate's in the wall, gathers it back up, but he's going to lose multiple spots. But he's going to come firing back down and try to get second away from Sean Boundy, and he wants to get the race lead back again. I'm surprised that that car's still actually competitive enough after scraping the outside wall in turn 1.
Yeah, these cars are definitely not as robust as the next gens that we race, or heck, even the trucks since the recent updates. But yeah, these cars are not one that you could just keep on going and get a little bit of fix once they hit the wall.
Yeah, these cars are more made out of the sheet metals, some of the old days, compared to the composite bodies that are utilized in the NASCAR next-gen Xfinity and trucks. So they're durable, but they're not as durable. They can't take too much of a beating compared to the next-gen cars.
My main question is, why is Throwback Race not Car Tomorrow's at Talladega?
Well,
Need some tandem racing in our lives.
I would have to say that would be a fun one, but the problem is I had to say that they would be concerned about there being no restrictor plates on those COT cars.
Tandem.
Hashtag bring back the tandem racing. As we pick up the field here coming out of turn number 4, 15 laps left to go in stage number 1. Christopher Tate, he's back up in front of the field and wants to lead the race here against Matt Cherry. He's getting that outside lane really going and doing a stellar job of it. The question is going to be, though, does he have enough tires to make it to the end of the stage? Because he is putting a lot of pressure on those right side tires.
Well, I've said this once and I'll say it again. My firm belief in Thunderclap is just run the heck out of the tires and don't take new tires in the first stage. Save that extra set so later on, near the end of the race, you're going to have an extra set on everyone.
It's not a bad strategy call, but the thing is you want to then take care of your tires on that first stage for the most part, and also try to play it out as best you can. So maybe instead of coming down pit road for tires on that first stage, come down mid-stage 2 if there's a caution, and see about putting some fresh Goodyear Eagles on as they cross the line here. Again, everyone's kind of single file for the moment, binding their P's and Q's. Got a couple of battles further back. There you see Boundy, of course, holding on to third. There you see the driver of Justin Clapper having a good fight with Thomas Kohick for the 8th spot.
Kohick going really far down to the inside. We've seen that quite a bit in all the cars that have raced here. We've called one New Texas, both A, B, and C this week, and we've seen all 3 races drivers do that, try to get really far to the inside for the entry into 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's really incredible to see them try to hold on to that line and then try to just shoot down to the bottom, but they got to be careful of how much they stay down at the bottom of the racetrack before they turn in, as one car is coming off of pit road by the looks of it. That's the 24 of Damian Neeson, as we pick up the 46 machine of Todd Lee.
I'm pretty sure that's Jeff Gordon.
We got a couple of Jeff Gordons.
That's Jeff Gordon right there. That's number 24 Flames. It's Jeff Gordon.
Well, there was another Jeff Gordon car also that was battling with Todd Lee, or Cole Trickle as we'll call it tonight, as well. And there's another Jeff Gordon paint scheme right there by Jordan Jurassic as well.
Actually,
And then,
today
of
on
course-
NASCAR radio, Jeff Gordon was actually the legend with Dave Moody, and it was a really good interview. Definitely recommend people listen to that.
It's crazy to think now Jeff Gordon is considered. I mean, he was always one of the greatest at his time, but now he's considered a legend driver. If you think about it now, and not that hard to believe, not that long ago. Same thing with Dale Earnhardt Jr. And this entire era of drivers who raced in these Gen 4 cars, they're pretty much not racing anymore, except for maybe a select few.
It's been almost 10 years since Jeff Gordon retired. Next year will be 10 years.
I know, that's hard to believe. A couple of other drivers off of turn number 4 trying to skate their way around the circuit and hold on. Those tires starting to fall off just a little bit for some of them. As we watch the battle here, as you see the driver of Todd Lee, Justin Clapper, Stephen Lachinsky, from the 12 machine of Greg McConey, who's running in that Batman McDonald's machine.
So, is this the paint that you were telling me about, the Batman one? that
Yeah.
you like?
Batman Forever one? Yeah, that was one of my favorite.
I definitely do not remember that one, but I started watching NASCAR probably around 99, so probably a little bit before that Batman movie came out.
Absolutely, and it's great to see these drivers have fun with the paint schemes as we pick up the battle for the race lead. Christopher Tate hits the wall off of turn number 2. This opens the door for Cherry, but Tate shuts the door on him through the middle of turn 3 and 4. You're right on board, a little bit of damage there, and look at how much he's wheeling that number 30 machine. He has a lot of work to do in order to try to maintain the race lead and hold on for dear life as Matt Cherry comes barreling down at him as they work through the middle of turn 1 and 2. And Garrett, he's now up to P3.
Yeah, Matt Garrett has been very impressive, but cutting to the Kyle Newkirk as he has come off of the track and is about to head down pit lane.
Throwing it back to the Sirius XM's early days with Casey Atwood driving that color scheme at one point.
Yeah, well, just Sirius. It's no XM. That's back when Sirius and XM were fierce rivals.
Exactly. So it's incredible to see some of the paints we're seeing now. Saw a couple of drivers throwing it to the X-Side machine of Jeff Burton back in the early 2000s, late 90s. Steve Park machine, Tony Stewart's paint scheme right there of Thomas Kohick.
There's the
There
X-Side. That is a really nice paint, honestly.
All of the X-Side battery machines of Jeff Burton were really nice paint schemes, I have to say.
I've never used an X-Side battery.
Trouble for Greg McConey. He had an issue off turn number 4. And I think he might have got a little... Nope, he didn't get any help, but he just lost it off turn 4. Gathers it back up. No caution, but still a close call indeed. Field working their way through. Here's a look at the replay. As you ride on board there, he gets loose off turn 2. But watch this as they head into turn 3. He goes down, holds his line. Right about now, he'll start to drift a little bit. Hits that white line, and then it just loops it almost around, but he's able to save it. Gets on the binders and loses a couple of spots, but he's still out there on the track racing hard. He currently sits 15th position, trying to catch up to the other McDonald's machine of Robert Colgan and the Jeff Gordon machine of Bobby Grant, and I believe that's the 24 machine also. That's a lap car of Damian Neeson.
I might have some McDonald's at work. Well, this isn't work, but...
As we watch the field work their way through the middle of turn 1 and 2, a couple of laps before the end of stage 1, Thomas Aaron, well, he wants to have a shot of going to try and get the money away from Jordan Jurassic and Matt Cherry. He's got some work to do. He's got to make up about a second, 1.1 second, but he just gets around Sean Bounty for the 5th spot and sets his sights on Jurassic and Cherry as they come barreling out of turn 1 and 2. He's got some work to do, but still a great drive for him to kick off the first stage.
Yeah, the leader just coming ready to take the final lap here to end the stage. A very impressive drive by Christopher Tate, considering he's been in the wall. Yeah, been battling. It's very impressive. And he is very squirrely out of the corners. And Even just look at Matt Garrett right behind him. He was pretty early just as he was getting halfway through the tri-oval there.
It really is amazing of how much car control they're having, because how much throttle you're having to play with. You got to treat this car when you're on the gas as one car hits the wall, another car as well. That's Neeson in the 14 of Bobby Grant.
Bobby Grant did just go off track here. We'll have a replay of it probably once the stage is over here.
Yeah, as they come out of turn number 4, Christopher Tate in that number 30 T-Machine as comes across the line. He will win stage number 1. Matt Garrett, Matt Cherry, Jordan Durasic, Thomas Aaron will be your top 5. Then it will be Boundy, Kohik, Lachinski, Todd Lee, and Justin Clapper. As here's the look of Bobby Grant and what happened to him. Out of turn number 4, just smacks the wall, loops it, almost saves it, cuts through the grass, rejoins the track, and we'll continue on racing here tonight.
Been there.
I think everyone, it's safe to say everyone's been there off of turn 4 at Texas.
But with that said, thank you everyone for tuning in for the first stage here of the throwback race here at Texas Motor Speedway. We're going to say thank you to our sponsors, and we'll be back in a few minutes. We're going side by side. Clear.
Travis Pastrana here, and you are watching the Thunderclap iRacing Series. Grab a good boy and let's go racing.
People ready to rock.
Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. If your lawn sprinkler controller is more than 5 years old, give us a shout today. We'll come out and take a look, give you evaluation, get you set up for a new Wi-Fi enabled smart controller. We can monitor this from our office for you. Give us a shout. We'll come out and take a look. Let's upgrade your controller. It'll save you water. We can save you up to about, we're averaging 47 to 51% with our clients. Feedback we're hearing from us. So give us a shout today. We're glad to come out and take a peek. Talk to you soon.
Welcome back to Grid Vision's coverage of the TLC Incorporated excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I promise I know how to talk. Welcome back to the Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC Incorporated, live here on Grid Vision from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. It's Throwback Week. Myself and Austin Derbyshire are here to bring you all the action, and of course this caution is brought to you by Connor's Cure. Join the fight against pediatric cancer with Connor's Cure, the official charity of the 2024 Thunderclap season. Even though Thunderclap and the groups at Mania Club have already raised that $40,000 by WrestleMania, they are still going to need your help to continue to fund carefully vetted, cutting-edge, life-saving research for children's wrestling with pediatric cancer. Head to v.org/Mania Club to support and donate to Connor's Cure and join the fight against pediatric cancer today. And let's hopefully end the story of pediatric cancer for good, as we are now about to get the 1 to go signal. In fact, it is 1 to go as we get set to go back racing here for stage number 2. We're going to make a 50 lap run here, making it to lap number 90. So drivers got a little bit of work to do. This is a time for where we're seeing how they manage their tires during this stage of the run. So a little bit more exciting as well. We already saw the drivers in that first 35 laps, Austin. They were absolutely sliding all over the place coming out of turn 4, coming out of turn 2. We saw the leader up in the wall in turn 1. It's just a matter of just keeping that throttle like you got to egg under your foot. And with that, the field will work their way through turn 3 and 4. Fred, the pace car driver, will make that hard left turn down onto pit road. Barney, the flag man, will have the Pine Gulf green flag in hand. And it's time to go back racing once again for stage number 2. 40 laps are completed out of 150 across the line. And Tate, shot out of a cannon, leads us down into turn 1 and 2, side by side for second on back, as Jurassic and Cherry try to jockey and battle for that top spot to get the $50 in cash after tonight's race for the Pine Gulf Dash for Drive for Cash tonight. As they head down the back straightaway, heading into turn 3 and 4, Cherry with the big Mo will complete the pass on Jurassic to move up to second. Field works their way across the start-finish line right now. It's single file. Everyone now just trying to get themselves in a bit of a rhythm as they work through the middle of turn 1 and 2. And it seems like everyone's safe to say they don't want to push the envelope, except for one driver, that number 9 machine of Matthew Montgomery. He's currently sitting in the 15th spot. He just got around Greg McConey, the Batman and McDonald's Ford. As they work through, there you see the 23 of Ryan Zunk in the Nicorite Chevrolet, throwing it back to Jeff Gordon. He hits the wall off turn number 4 across the front straightaway, along with another driver. I believe that was Matt Holmes in the Valvoline machine right there as well. So a tough break for him. He's able to gather it back up and continue on his way, dropping back though to 23rd position as Sean Bounty, he's on a bit of a tear. He's going to go 3 wide with your race leader, and Matt Cherry off turn number 4, side by side. Cherry takes the lead. New race leader here once again, Matt Cherry in the RL Productions number 45, throwing it back to Kyle Petty. Takes on the race lead here and stretches it out to about a 0.3 of a second lead over Bounty, who clears Christopher Tate off turn number 2 and will now try to chase down your race leader. He's going to go to the top side of the racetrack, run right up against the outside wall as they come through the middle of turn 3 and 4, diamonding the corner a little bit, gets a great run off turn number 4, and will go side by side with your race leader down the front straightaway, heading into turn 1 up to the top of the racetrack. He stays as the two will battle out for that race lead out of turn number 2, and Bounty with the big Mo gets the race lead away from Matt Cherry. Cherry concedes the lead for the moment, and now what can Bounty do? Can he start to pull away utilizing that outside lane, or will he have to drop down to try to save some of those tires? They are approaching some lap traffic up ahead. That's Daniel Lyle in the number 4 machine. So Daniel's got to be careful, stay out of harm's way, as here comes the leader barreling down on him.
Yeah, for anyone who was watching our top split coverage of Class the Xfinity on Monday, Class B Open, they would have seen that there was quite a few cars who, especially in 3 and 4, were ripping the top side and making a considerable amount of time up on the people on the inside line. It does use your tire up a little bit quicker, but with these cars, I was probably going to equate them to driving most like the Xfinity car to anything else on the service. And I expect that if any driver needs to make up some positions quick, that is the power move to go up top.
It really is, and they're showcasing that power move on the outside lane right now. We see our race leader Bounty go down to about the middle, just now in between the white line and that long strip of tar that you see in the middle of the corner. Gathers it back up to continue on his way, but still a good run right now for the moment. That seems where to be the place they're going to be at for this time in this stage of the race as they work out of turn number 2. About 3 car lengths separating your top 2 at the moment. Then you got to go about another 0.4 of a second to Christopher Tate, and then you see this gaggle of cars right here: Jurassic, Garrett, Kohik. Then you also throw in Thomas Aaron into the mix and several other drivers who are now trying to close the gap onto second-place driver Matt Cherry.
With this stage being a little bit longer, are we expecting to see pit stops mid-cycle?
It depends on how the cautions fall. They should have just about enough to make it to the end of the stage. 50 laps they should be able to, maybe if they save a little bit, but for the most part we should be expecting 1 pit stop cycle in this stage of the race. So we'll keep an eye on that, but right now your race leaders are side by side. Cherry on the bottom will complete the pass on Bounty. Tate wants it. He'll dive to the bottom of the racetrack with the help from Steven Lachinski right there in the mix as they work through the middle of turn 2. Out of turn 2, down the back straightaway. Bounty almost scrapes the outside wall. Gathers it back up and will try to fight back on the outside as we watch a little further back. This is, of course, Todd Lee, Gregory Shepsis, Clapper, Albright, and Robert Walton jockeying around the 10th spot with Matt Montgomery in the mix. So if you look at it this way, ladies and gentlemen who are watching here, you have a top 16 less than 2 seconds from each other at the moment, as they're all a single file pretty much as they try to get around the lap car of Daniel Lyle.
Yeah, we caught there just barely. We saw Matt Cherry looking on the inside of the lap car, and then last moment just whipping it up to the top to get around him. I honestly had a little bit of fear that the yellow might be coming out there, but we did make it through there without any caution.
We really did, and that was absolutely great driving by every single one. As Christopher Tate, he's going to start working his way up the racetrack a little bit to get around Matt Cherry as the caution is out for here again. Trying to see what has happened.
Daniel Lyle, he has jumped to the pits.
So Daniel Lyle, our lap car who we were keeping an eye on, might have had some issues here. Did he have any help? So he tries to get out of harm's way, goes up the racetrack, and is just loose before even getting into it. So it's safe to say he just lost control of the car, collect multiple cars. Ryan Zunk was one of them and a couple of others as he will take it behind the wall. Daniel Lyle, our first retirement of the night.
Yeah, he got a little low there, and it was probably just trying to save it there. We will get a cockpit view there, but just unfortunate. The cars that did get back into him as he came back up on track.
Yeah, it was. Greg McConey was one of the other drivers involved. I couldn't catch one of the other ones that also got caught up in this. Here's another look from the cockpit of Daniel Lyle. Just
yeah, hovering, and he keeps turning it right to try, and he just was never able to catch it.
it's hard to maintain and hold on to 900 horsepowers. And trying to maintain it here around this track, it is a difficult one. Even for some of the best in motorsports had a tough time racing around this track with these cars.
Yeah, we do have the field coming down pits now. It looks like TJ Lee, Bob Grant, Andrew Olzisk. See, I always tell you guys how to say it. Now that I'm commentating, I'm going to get it wrong here. Olszewski and Kyle Newkirk are the ones who are not taking a pit stop this time by.
The 4 cars stay out. There you see the 78 machine out there as well. That's TJ DeBlasi. He is 1 lap down. He should be getting the lucky dog. So that gives him an opportunity to get back on the lead lap. Throwing it back to Kenny Wallace back when Furniture Row Racing was having some fun out there in that gen. As Todd Lee will come down pit road.
Furniture Row was around during Gen 4?
At least Furniture Row, the sponsor. I don't know about the racing team. I'll have to double check on that.
My memory's starting to fade. But, you know, there we have our obligatory City Chevy car.
Yes, we... Of course, that car is utilized just about in every generation of the iRacing world in the NASCAR world. And yeah, it was around at that time. Back opened in 2005, closed in 2018. Debuted at the 2005 MBNA NASCAR Race Point 400 at Dover, as well as the 2005 Pepsi 300 at Nashville.
The more you know with Taylor Burris.
Exactly. Thank you, Wikipedia. Of course, the driver who drove, like I said, was Kenny Wallace, but Furniture Row Racing did have a lot of other great drivers racing for them. Of course, besides Kenny Wallace, they had drivers such as Eric Jones, Martin Truex Jr., Regan Smith, Kurt Busch. So you had a wide range of very talented drivers. Of course, they did get their first championship not too long ago with that team, just before they closed down, which was unfortunate, which was a big help when they partnered up with Joe Gibbs Racing to help them win that championship with Martin Truex.
Well, even though Truex did win the championship with them, the main core memory I have for Furniture Row will always be Kurt Busch, just because how unhinged he was when he raced for Furniture Row. It was glorious. It was amazing. It made my life in high school.
Well, thankfully now Kurt Busch is not as unhinged and still has a good opportunity. We may see him race once again in the NASCAR Cup Series for 2311, but currently he's enjoying being a driver ambassador and driver coach over at 2311 for the time being.
It's honestly, I think his story is the greatest redemption story in all of NASCAR. From just how he was to how the whole racing community looks at him now.
Absolutely. He is by far, I have to say, some people probably, I view him as probably one of the most underrated, but I have to say he is one of the most underrated champions in NASCAR at the time. I mean, he has a stellar driving career. Everyone looks more towards his younger brother Kyle, as the Pine Gulf green flag is back in the air. Big bubble. Trouble the further back. Sean Bounty gets collected by Kyle Newkirk as the caution will come out. Safe to say some wheel spin might have been involved with that one. You got to be careful on these restarts.
Yeah, and we saw some wheel spin coming from TJ Lee, got a little squirrely. I think that pretty much stacked up the whole top row, but we'll most certainly break down this whole restart here from the Grid Vision chopper.
Yep, time to send the chopper back up in the air. Keep an eye on Todd Lee in the 46. Watch how he gets his start, as well as also the 20 machine of Newkirk. They enter the restart zone. There you see the bobble right there. Newkirk also gets a much bigger issue and bobbles. That then collects Sean Bounty, who was just minding his own business, and then boom, elected up in the incident here. So not a way to kick off the night for the driver of Sean Bounty, one of your championship favorites here in the 2024 Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have a Sirius XM subscription.
You get taken out by the Sirius car.
Yeah.
They send the dog after you.
It gets serious.
It does get serious, as Todd Lee will realize he needs to come down pit road to get some fresh tires. Andrew Olazewski in the Budweiser machine, throwing it back to Dale Earnhardt Jr. There you see another DEI car of Steve Parks from, of course, the driver of Thomas Aaron. Had a pretty decent night so far. He currently sits at 8th. He started in 4th, but has been inside the top 5 for a majority of the race up until the pit stop cycle. So keep an eye on Thomas Aaron. He's definitely want to be in the hunt for the money, as he's got a little work to do. He's currently the 3rd ranked driver in the Pine Gulf Dash or Drive for Cash tonight. I keep saying Dash for Cash. It's Drive for Cash here tonight.
While we're under caution, let's watch a little video that they put together for us about the Drive for Cash. so our
Absolutely.
viewers can know a little bit more about it. Muted.
Introducing the Pine Golf Drive for Cash. Presented by Pine Golf Apparel and Golf Gear, the newest affordable option in swag, uniforms, and accessories. Starting with a qualifier at Michigan, 4 drivers will go head-to-head over a 4-week period. The highest finisher of the quartet in each event wins a $50 cash prize and automatically qualifies for the next round. The next 3 highest finishers, classified as full-time drivers, qualify for the following round until the final event on May 1st. The first round will take place on April 10th for the Gen 4 throwback event at Old Texas Motor Speedway, followed by round 2 and 3 at Talladega and Dover before concluding at Homestead. We're taking golf from the green to the pavement, 4 drivers, swinging for a hole in 1 cash money victory, and the respect of being a Pine Golf Drive for Cash winner.
Great to hear from the people over at Pine Golf to be able to come on board for this amazing drive for cash. $50 on the line for the next few weeks. And of course, right now, it's Matt Cherry who's looking to get the $50. If the race were to end right now, besides Matt Cherry, Olszewski, Bobby Grant, and Christopher Tate would be joining him at the next race at Talladega. So pretty amazing race that we have going on here. So in a sense, we have 2 races going on for the price of 1. As lights are out on the pace car, it's going to be Olszewski and Bobby Grant on the front row with the Budweiser number 8 and the Mountain Dew number 14. Then you have the RL Productions of Cherry and Tate, Stephen Lechensky in the X-Side machine with Jordan Durasic, Thomas Aaron, Matt Garrett, Matthew Montgomery, and Thomas Kohick, your top 10. So we're going to keep an eye on the action here and see how this all plays out for our competitors as they work their way down the back straightaway. A couple of cars did come down pit road to get some fresh tires, top off with fuel. Oh, for those who decided to stay out like Olszewski, like Bobby Grant, how will this play out for them in this stage of the race here compared to everyone else as they come through the middle of turn 3 and 4? As we watch and wait to see how this all plays out. Fred, the pace car driver, will make the hard left turn down onto pit road. Barney, the flagman, has the Pine Golf green flag in hand. It's time to go back racing here in the heart of Texas. Across the line, and it is Olszewski who gets a good run. Trouble, though, further back. Bobby Grant gets sent around. He collects Durasic. And Christopher Tate, safe to say, another incident where just a little bit of wheel spin and around you go. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have more racing action here on Grid Vision. You're watching the 2024 Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC Incorporated.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Gridfish's coverage of the Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC Incorporated. Lights are out on the pace car. That means just one thing. We're about to go back racing here at Texas Motor Speedway as part of Throwback Week here tonight. As we take a look at the replay for the recent caution of what just happened, riding on board with Bobby Grant, he gets on the throttle and just a little bit of wheel spin, gets basically rear-ended right there by the driver of Christopher Tate, and around he goes. Tough break for him in the Mountain Dew machine.
Yeah,
Safe to say he was jacked up, but just not on Mountain Dew.
Yeah, once again, it's just one of those situations where we see the car. It looks like it's just doesn't have that grip. You get that car at a certain angle, and it's very hard to get the weight back on that front right.
It really is. So let's see if we can do it again. Hopefully a little bit better this time. Not cause any problems. Gentlemen, let's take it easy. Treat like there is an egg under your foot pedal. And try to at least get through this restart. As they enter the Pine Gulf restart zone, green flag is back out. And we are racing here, and a little bit better jump through the field for the most part. Everyone makes it through across the line, but Olszewski gets a good jump and leads the field into one.
Yeah, not quite the jump that we've seen from other people at the beginning, but he is also on much older tires than the likes of Matt Cherry here.
Yeah, Matt Cherry's now going to take the race lead away with those fresh tires, as he will lead once again. Jurassic trying to hunt him down in the third spot. And now right behind Garrett, then you have Steven Lachinsky, your top five, as Olszewski will stay up towards the top side and let the leaders go. No, he thinks better of it. He wants to hold on to second place for the moment to get some much valuable points. Keeping an eye on this battle here. Everyone now going to go single file except for Thomas Aaron. He wants to get around Lachinsky for the top five because he is in the shot for the money. And he wants to get around the driver of Jordan Jurassic and Matt Cherry. He's got some work to do, but still puts the pressure on Lachinsky for the fifth spot. They'll go side by side as one car, Christopher Tate, up into the outside wall again. He is dropping like a rock for the most part, as his night is gone from good to bad to worse, as he's now outside the top 25.
Yeah, it seems like he's finally collected enough damage to really slow him down. Not enough to get past some of these other cars, but I highly doubt we'll be able to see Christopher Tate up front unless he gets a considerable amount of damage fixed in the front right there.
Yeah, so currently we have 3 cars out of tonight's race. Ryan Zunk, Damian Neeson, and Daniel Lyle, as they are currently out, as Jordan Durasic looks to the inside of Olazewski. He wants to take over the race second place, as well as also Matt Garrett, who looks to his inside, side by side for third, and Garrett will complete passing to turn 3.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of this 8 car moving backwards. Just the unfortunate situation he was in. I definitely would have been like his counterpart there, who went down into the tires during that last caution.
Absolutely here. So it's going to be a little bit of strategy call and seeing how this all plays out, because he is now struggling for tire grip. He will have that extra set of tires, though, so that will be a benefit later in the race as he goes 3 wide with Lachinsky and Thomas Aaron. Will he back off, or will he try to fight it? Nope, he's going to let Lachinsky by on the outside, as well as also Thomas Aaron, as he has to deal with Clapper and Montgomery behind him inside the top 10.
Just pulling up pit strategy, stint length that you can see there. Olazewski now at 34 laps, coming on 35 on those current tires, whereas everyone's about to hit lap 19.
Yeah, everyone is about to cross that line here, and for Olazewski, 34 laps on these tires. Definitely a big strategy, and hopefully can play out for him. Those tires are definitely not working out. He is about, last time by for Olazewski, about 4 to 5 tenths off your race leaders.
Last time on the board as of right now.
There you see right now, currently it is Jordan Durasic and Matt Garrett, your fastest 2 on the track, as they are battling a little bit behind between Aaron and Lachinsky. Aaron clears Lachinsky off turn 4, as Lachinsky will slide back in line, give a little bit of push so they can go hunt down your top 2. Great racing action inside the top 5, as Garrett is also putting pressure on Jordan Durasic as well. As Olazewski trying to hold off Kohik, but Kohik was able to get around him, and watching Todd Lee, along with Chase Albright and Greg McConey, they're going to go 3 wide off corner exit. Keeping an eye on the field of drivers as they work their way through. 75 laps up on the board. We are closing in on just about... Oh, big trouble right there for Albright. Hits the wall. Can he save it?
Yeah.
So far, he does.
He is going to have some of that extra damage, though, on the right side. Too bad.
Not too bad. So he's going to keep on racing and gather it back up. Still a lot of things to happen here, as we'll see how this all plays out for the driver of Chase Albright. Quick little fun fact trivia. Chase Albright driving, of course, the Shell Pennzoil throwback paint scheme. Who was he throwing it back to?
I would have to say Kevin Harvick?
Nope, not it. That's not it. I will give you the year. This paint scheme was run in 1996.
Oh, I'll never get it.
And it was an Xfinity Series paint.
Nationwide? Oh, yeah. They're not even... There's Bush back then. Yeah, I would never get it.
How about a former NASCAR champion, Bobby Labonte? Hashtag the more you know.
The more you know with Taylor Burst. I'm gonna get a graphic made. I don't know. If, I don't know if I can use a rainbow without getting sued by NBC, but we'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out and have some fun with it. But some great paint schemes there. You see, of course, an old Home Depot Tony Stewart paint scheme right there in the mix. Matthew Montgomery throwing it back to Jeff Gordon back when he drove the Pepsi car. Don't see Pepsi really racing anymore. We see Mountain Dew racing, but we don't see Pepsi.
Well, even Mountain Dew is very, very limited.
It is compared to what it was back in the day, but we at least still see a Mountain Dew car at least one time a year.
Well, think of it this way. Chase Elliott, who is driving essentially Jeff Gordon's old car, even though 24 is in the 19 is Jeff Gordon's old team. He's sponsored by Coca-Cola now.
I know. And I think, if I remember correctly, for 2023 and 2024, Mountain Dew is over with Colic Racing right now.
This may sound sacrilege, but Mountain Dew, not that great.
Ooh, speaking of Mountain Dew, one of the Mountain Dew cars hits the outside wall. That was Bobby Grant in the 14. He's able to gather it back up and continue on racing, but for that Mountain Dew machine, got a little bit of work to do.
Bobby Grant, though, he's made up a lot of positions after his little spin and going off track there. He did fall back really far into the field. He's already moved his way back into the 14th position out of 31 cars tonight.
Yep. Speaking of Mountain Dew, how about another little trivia for you there, Austin? Can you name me five? McConey! Into the outside wall. He saves it again. But he's going to work his way through and continue on racing. But a tough break for the McDonald's Batman machine, as here comes another driver down to his inside. As that's Gregory Shepsis in the Pine Gulf paint machine. So going down the back straightaway. Hits that outside wall, loses it, saves it, thanks to the wall.
Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, he hit the wall, and as he was trying to peel himself off, that's what got him super squirrely there, was the motion of peeling himself off the wall.
Absolutely, but he's able to continue on racing here. And he has his other McDonald's teammate right there of Robert Colgan right there as we pick up the WCW throwback machine and Connor Stewart of Justin Clapper battling with Todd Lee.
All right, I need my trivia.
All right. Can you name me 5 drivers who have driven in the Mountain Dew colors? You cannot add either Chase Elliott or Dale Earnhardt Jr.
See, I pictured the one car. Harry Gant?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, no clue.
How about we go back to the 80s with Darrell Waltrip?
Okay, honestly, yeah, I could say the post, but that probably, if I had to name another driver, it would have been that, and then I would have got nobody else.
Richard Childress, J.D. McDuffie, Bill Schmidt, Casey Atwood, Jeremy Mayfield. I'm surprised you didn't get this one. One of the cars is a throwback. Casey Kane, Regan Smith, one Pablo Montoya, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, and then Darrell Waltrip, Jeremy Mayfield, and Brian Vickers drove these cars, Mountain Dew cars, in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, literally the only one I probably would have ever guessed would have been Waltrip. There's no way I would have been able to get 5. You kind of shot. You're like, hey, here's a question. Then you shoot me in the knee by eliminating Chase Elliott and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Well, it would have been easy if we would have picked that. If those two. Got to make it a little interesting for you.
You can lay me up. Like, nothing wrong with that. Kyle Newkirk recently did just go off track as we catch him, getting more loose.
He's able to save it, keeps on racing. We're only a few laps away till the end of stage number 2.
He's in a serious situation right now.
He is in a Nick would not be happy with our jokes right now with serious.
Well, maybe he should have came and commentated tonight.
He should have. As Jurassic and Garrett are battling for second, we'll take a look at the replay here with Kyle Newkirk. Hits that white line a little bit, then boom, up the track, hits the wall. And then just has to hold on to the power of a NASCAR Gen 4 car.
And continues drifting it through the corner. But, he's under his own power now, and that's what matters.
He is under his own power, and he will keep on racing here today as they head off down into turns 1 and 2. Out of turn number 2, though, It is Matt Cherry who's in the hunt as Jurassic, Garrett, and Aaron battle for second. Great racing action all around the circuit here as they come out of turn number 4 across the line. About 3 laps to go here in stage number 2. As Montgomery goes loose off turn 4. He gathers it back up, though.
The camera transition was just too much, and he had to move.
He did have to move, and he was able to save it a little bit. Continues on racing here.
Gant, P9, up 14 positions since the start of the race.
Absolutely a great drive for Gant as he is now going to, Grant works his way through.
Yeah.
Couple other big, go ahead.
24th was the lowest position. And yeah, already back to 9th. Crazy good drive. It must be the Mountain Dew.
Must be the Mountain Dew. How about Todd Lee in the City Chevrolet, 25th to 6th. Another one of your big movers out there on the track. There you see Todd Lee. He's been as high as first place, and he's currently trying to shut the door in front of Thomas Kohick.
Well, he looks like an expert beard grower, and you come to expect a good block to come from someone with such a good beard.
Absolutely, as they come across the line. Caution is out for the end of stage 2, and Matt Cherry will win it here tonight. For stage number 2, Jordan Jurassic, Matt Garrett, Thomas Aaron, Stephen Lachinski, Todd Lee, Thomas Koheck, TJ DeBlasi, Bobby Grant, and Robert Colgan. Your top 10 at the end of stage number 2. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Say thank you to our amazing partners here tonight for the TLC series, or the Thunderclap iRacing series, presented by TLC Incorporated, live on Grid Vision.
Travis Pastrana here, and you are watching the Thunderclap iRacing series. Grab a good boy and let's go racing.
I think we're ready to rock.
In a distant kingdom, in a magical realm, there lived people who faced dreadful drainage problems on their lawns. For many years, they suffered from puddles and mud in their yards. Until one day, the saviors from TLC Company appeared with their magical shovels and lifted the wet curse from the kingdom's residents. Forget about puddles and mud. With us, your yard will become a genuine fairy tale nook. Call us right now, and let's transform your drainage concerns into a magical adventure. TLC, where every home becomes a fairy tale.
Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. You got a outdoor lighting, landscape lighting system. Maybe we installed it. Maybe it was there you inherited in your house and you want to upgrade it. Now's the time to give us a shout. We'll come out and take a look, evaluate what you do have, tell you what you could have. Give us a shout today for all your outdoor lighting needs. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, Bob Carr with TLC. Spring's upon us. If you got a wet yard, it's not going to get any better. Now it's time to give us a call. Let us come out and take a look at your drainage problem in your property. We can get you a solution. The dogs, the kids be tracking in mud. Mom will be mad. So give us a call. Give us a shout today. Talk to you soon.
TLC is the best in lawn sprinklers, outdoor lighting, holiday lighting, yard drainage.
Welcome back to Grid Vision's coverage of the Thunderclap iRacing series presented by TLC Incorporated. Taylor Burris here along with Austin Derbyshire as one car will come down pit road. That's the 52 machine of Brandon Schumann. Figure out what paint scheme that is he's running. It's the highpoint.com. Let's take a look and see what drivers drove that paint scheme.
That ain't a throwback.
I know. I'm like, I don't think High Point really was around during that period.
I don't even know what High Point does. We're going to find out. That's sponsorship at work.
Yeah, it came around during the 2020s for the High Point sponsorship in NASCAR. So it is a technology company. I'm trying to read more about it with all the information. They are a company focused with information to help. Well, I'm trying to read about it, but apparently it's a tech company in cybersecurity.
Yeah, go to their website. They have solutions, services, and resources.
Exactly. So transform your IT.
Promote some synergy.
So Brandon, we're gonna have to be your throwback police, because that's not a throwback in this car. If this was the next gen car, I'd give you a little bit of leeway. But
Like, we haven't even hit the .com bubble yet.
Exactly. I mean, shoot. The NASCAR.com website.
Oh, that had to have been around early 90s. Had to have.
Let's see here. It's gonna be a little hard to do because it'll take you right to NASCAR.com, of course.
Just hop in the Wayback Machine.
Exactly. Basically, when it was dial-up internet is when it came out.
I never got off dial-up until 2014, believe it or not.
Wow.
All right, we're about to go green.
We are about to go green flag racing here. They enter into the TLC restart zone. Pine Gulf green flag is out for the final stage here tonight, as Matt Cherry and Jordan Jurassic lead us here to the green flag. And already, Matt Cherry and the RL Production Chevrolet Monte Carlo leads us through the middle of turn 1 and 2, with Jurassic right there behind in his Impala as they jockey for third with Garrett, as well as also the driver of Thomas Aaron.
Yeah, a lot of dirt being cut off there. Tossed up there by Matt Garrett as he was riding around the wall. I'm pretty sure he never actually hit the wall there. It was just you get that pebbles and a little bit of dust come up when you get close to the wall there.
He was able to gather it back up and continue on his way, so great drive for him at the moment as they work through the middle of turns 1 and 2 once again. Kohick had a little bit of issues, but is able to gather it back up and continue on his race. Watching on a little further back is Kohick along with Sean Boundy, who's got his way back up inside the top 5 almost. He's putting on a stellar drive as they work their way through the middle of the corner. Heading up to the top of the racetrack here, we're going to watch and see what that number 8 of Olazewski can do. Throw in Lachinsky as he's trying to get his way up into the top 5. Take a look at the weather right now. Currently, it's about 84 degrees. It's a hot day here in Fort Worth, Texas. 128 degrees, the track temperature. Those tires are practically melting here around Texas Motor Speedway with how hot the track is. There's the Mountain Dew paint scheme that I was talking about that Casey Kane drove back in the mid-2000s.
I do remember that car now.
I have a die-cast of that car, a little 164 scale die-cast, but it's still a die-cast car that I love.
164, isn't that dinky car size?
That is Hot Wheels car size.
Yeah, dinky car. Oh, one in the wall.
Yep.
94.
94. Robert Colgan has back up another one I had back when I was a kid. Oh, he hit Bobby Grant. There goes Justin Clapper, Olazewski, and more looping around the track.
Yeah, Olazewski with this. Was that a sympathy spin?
I don't know, but he got turned around. He's able to gather it back up.
We'll take a look here from the Grid Vision Chopper.
So, Grant.
Oh, no, he got hit.
Yeah, he got hit. Tough break right there for the drivers as they will work their way around the circuit with under 50 laps left to go in the race. That is our 5th caution of the night.
Fifth for cause, correct?
No, I believe this would be our 3rd for cause, 5th caution overall.
We're doing well.
We are doing well. Great drive for all of our drivers here tonight.
We did have a discussion during one of the commercial breaks that we were expecting quite a few more cautions tonight, just with this being a car that is not normally driven by the league. In the past, in other leagues that we've covered, when they switch the car up for a single race like this, not the greatest show, but the Thunderclap boys proving everyone wrong, and we're having a good one.
We certainly are having a good one indeed, as the field will work their way through. But still, some great driving. Currently, Cherry is your race leader, as well as also the driver that could take home the $50. And if the race were to end, it would be Cherry, Jurassic, Garrett, and Aaron, who would be up for the chance to go get $50 next week at Talladega. Keeping an eye on the competition here tonight as we watch and see how this will all play out for our drivers here. As they come across the line, lights off on the pace car next time by. We're going to find out. Nope, not yet. Once that Connor secure yellow flag shows up on screen, that's when we'll know we get the one to go signal for our competitors.
I must say, though, what a night for Matt Cherry. We saw him win the one heat there during our Speed Weeks coverage at the beginning of the season, and he had some tough luck. Pretty good showing last week, but this is most certainly probably the best performance we've seen from Matt Cherry, period, throughout the first 2/3 of the race.
Absolutely, and he has put on a stellar drive since the start of the race, and we're looking forward to seeing what he can do as we progress further and further down the road for this competition here as they get themselves set up. And I got to say, Matt Cherry, Jordan Jurassic, John Boundy, those are all pretty much the championship favorites. But there's a few others like Matt Garrett, Thomas Aaron, TJ DeBlasi. They've all been right on the cusp of breaking through with some great runs to go and challenge for a chance at running into the playoffs and the championship. So we'll keep an eye on those drivers as well here tonight. As lights are out on the pace car presented by Connor Skewer.
Anybody who did watch our coverage of the Thunderclap series last year definitely would know that Matt Garrett is a very talented driver. Just doesn't really have the best luck when it comes to certain situations that break down on track.
No, he doesn't. You know what? He's making some better progress week in and week out. And I have to say, he is going to be one to watch as we progress further later into the season. So we'll be right here, ready to go double file. As the field works their way into the restart zone here tonight. Presented by TLC Incorporated, with the Pine Gulf green flag is set to be in the air for our competitors here tonight. Closing in on 45 laps to go, probably about 47 now laps to go when they cross the line here. Green flag is out. We're back at it, ready to go racing. Everyone gets themselves going. A little bit of wheel spin by Matt Garrett, who gathers it back up to continue on his chance for a chance at the win here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. He has a pretty good run on the bottom after he gets going. And he is starting to get a little bit more pace out of 2 there compared to the likes of Jurassic. But Jurassic just... it's just fast everywhere.
Jordan Jurassic is always going to be one to watch when it comes to racing in any event that we have here on Grid Vision. He's always up towards the front of the field. He's always countlessly racing so hard but so clean week in and week out in that Ruthless Racing number 6. Of course, he also showcases the Grid Vision colors every so often. As we pick up the field, look how much they're just sideways off turn number 2, and they are still able to hold on for dear life as they come through the middle of the turns 3 and 4. Great battling all across the track here as they come out of turn number 4 across the line. And now Hogan and a couple of others, McConey, they gather it back up and will charge their way over to turn 1. Keeping an eye on the competition here. Field works their way through, down the back straightaway, almost going to go 3 wide for the moment. How about the Pine Gulf machine of Gregory Shepsis? Rolling it back to Rusty Wallace. Kind of throwing it to the Kodiak colors that Rusty Wallace drove in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, that is the Kodiak car, isn't it?
Absolutely. Great drive in there. That's what we want to see. We want to see some cool throwbacks, some cars that we haven't seen in a long time. Yes, I know. We love to see the Budweiser car, the Valvoline car that Johnny Benson and Mark Martin drove back in the day. The Sirius car is a good addition, I have to say. But we want to see some new styles, like the Kyle Petty machine that we just see, the Jeff Gordon machine, Steve Park, everyone. We see a Pennzoil car every so often. This one right here, Kenny Wallace machine, that's a good one to trying to throw back, especially when you drive the 78 machine.
Just going to go through the whole field here and show all the different paints that we have.
I don't know if that's a throwback paint, unfortunately. There we go. How about this? And throwing it back to Jeff Bodak, of course, last week at Bartlesville Speedway, Motorsports celebrating their 40th anniversary from their 40th win, or their 40th anniversary to their first career win. Then you see Dale Jr. and Cole Trickle out on the track. The Valvoline machine that both Mark Martin and Johnny Benson drove. Bill Elliott's McDonald's machine. Trying to figure out a little bit of the T-top manufacturing show that Christopher Tate's driving right now. And then the Piedmont tires machine, or the Piedmont machine that driven by, of course, a couple of drivers, Sterling Marlin being one of them. And then the 25 that Jerry Nadeau drove with the Delphi machine that Bo Condon's driving right now in the RL Productions machine. There's the other Mac Tonight, one of the Mountain Dew machines.
Can you really call that one a throwback, though?
That's not a throwback machine, though. That's more like what Chase Elliott drives now.
I'm pretty positive that, yeah. Well, not now, but
not now.
a few years ago.
Yeah, a few years ago, I have to say. Pepsi machine that we see right there. Then you see the WCW throwback of Justin Clapper. I saw the actual car. Who drove that car?
Hulk Hogan.
Well, of course, Hulk Hogan. I think it was more Goldberg who was around with that WCW car.
Well, there was definitely the NWO car. I remember that one.
Yes, there was the NWO car.
And that was most certainly Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and
Yep.
Kevin Nash.
So, let's see here. So there was a couple of drivers who drove the WCW machine. Billy Strandridge, Rodney Combs, Greg Satz, Bill Engel, and Elliott Sadler. So the one that you see right now that Clapper's driving was one that Greg Sachs, Bill Engel, and Elliott Sadler drove during the 1996 season.
Was there ever WCW cars and WWF cars on track on the same time?
So looking through, WWF cars didn't run in NASCAR a whole lot, but they did run in the NHRA. In fact, Stone Cold had a NHRA machine back in the 2000s.
Why am I remembering like the Rock food car?
Because there was a WF Racing and Drag Racing that had the Rock.
Okay, maybe it was. For some reason all these years, I thought it was NASCAR. Action heating up here around the eighth position.
Yeah, just right around that 8th position right now. It's Stephen Lachinski, along with Robert Walton and Gregory Shepsis. Shepsis sits in the 10th position. Walton and Lachinski battling around as well. Keep an eye on this battle here as the X-side machine of Stephen Lachinski holds on strong out of turn number 2, but Walton trying to put the pressure on him as he tries to show the nose to the inside. Can't make it work. Now sends it in through the middle of turn 3 and 4. Great drive right there between the two of them as they come out of turn number 4. As Walton tries to hold on, gets a little bit loose right there, but is able to gather it back up.
Yeah, Walton pretty loose coming out of 4 there, and pretty much stayed loose all the way through the trial.
Keeps it on going here and keeps the battle going for these drivers as they work their way through the middle of the corner of turn 3 and 4. Great drive and a great battle as Olazewski is trying to get in this fight as well.
We do have a new leader, and we missed it. We will get a replay here of this pass for first.
Sean Bounty, your new race leader, once again here as he will lead the charge. And we'll take a look at the replay. So across the finish line, Sean Bounty tries to get to the inside. Cherry gives him room. And the Rebel Racing number 35 will come out of turn number 2 and just power his way around the inside to take over the race lead.
That's what we like to see from Darby's picks. Getting out front when it matters.
It really is a great drive for him so far here tonight.
And we did just see in the background Matt Garrett get a little bit loose as he gets passed by Thomas Aaron.
Keeping an eye on how these drivers are working their way through around the circuit. I know we have a little bit of a story for one driver of Justin Clapper. Well, he's not throwing it back. Oh, as we see a little bit of contact a little further back in the field. But they are able to keep on racing for the moment. Thomas Kohick and TJ DeBlasi and Matt Garrett get together. So back on Sean Bounty right quick. His throwback paint scheme is not towards any form of racing, let's just say, as far as 4 wheels. He's throwing it back to 2-wheel racing to the rad Hell Track champion, Crew Jones, from 1986. For those of you who are wondering who Crew Jones is and the Hell Track Championship was, it's off-road pedal biking. So you're basically on a pedal bike, off-road racing. So really cool deal that he's got going on, and a couple of other cars.
Actually, the first car I ever painted was a throwback to Mammut when they had the truck sponsor there. But that car was based off of their off-road trucks that they race in like Baja and stuff.
Some of the paints you've done, I know you. If I remember, I think you might have done a paint for me with a throwback idea. As we have pit stops happening, Matt Garrett coming down pit road as he's trying to save it, almost spins it out as they come onto the entrance of pit road. With just about coming in on 25 laps to go in the race.
Yeah, we'll keep up these the graphics here so you guys can see the stint lengths or the pit time on pit lane. See, I don't speak much. I'm not too good at language. No, he's in there.
Oh, he got in there, but he had to back up briefly to make his pit box. He overshot it just a tick to where iRacing had to tell him he has to back up a little bit. As Matt Cherry, your race leader, or your second place driver, comes down pit road as well.
Yeah, once you get passed by someone like Sean Bounty, you definitely need to just get into pits and get those tires as early as possible and try and get that position back while you can.
Absolutely, and hope there's no caution that comes out. It stays green till the end for the most part. Sean Bounty, will he come down pit road this time by? The answer is going to be yes, indeed. The Rebel Racing driver has to go all the way down to the 6th pit box in order to make it into his stop. Jurassic stays out. Thomas Aaron, TJ DeBlasi, Brandon Schumann, Anthony Burleson, all coming down pit road. As Greg McConey will stay out there. You see Bounty hitting his pit box. As Aaron has to go a little wide to get around the number machine of 35 of Sean Bounty. And away he goes.
14.383 we're calling on pit road, pit stop time.
What was the driver of Matt Cherry's pit stop? 14.8, so he was 4/10 slower than our former race leader, Sean Bounty. And there you see right there, it might be a little bit of a difference, 4/10, as he's having to negotiate traffic as drivers are trying to come down pit road. 3 wide further back as they try to come out of turn number 4. That's going to hold Bounty up and give Cherry the chance to take the lead away.
Yeah, this is when we see chaos. Ooh, cutting it tight there. Oh, the Pine Golf car just getting a little bit loose after having such a close pass there.
You couldn't fit a pine needle between the two of those drivers as they were side by side off corner exit as they come. Yeah, exactly. So see how this plays out. But for Matt Cherry, he's got a little bit of breathing room over Sean Bounty as Olazewski and Shepsis try to gather it up and continue on their raceway.
Oh, he's like a. Not saying he is a pylon, but that's what comes to mind when you see a car pass that quickly in the corner. That was nuts.
Yeah, he was almost basically a moving chicane at that point where these drivers have to negotiate quickly. Same thing with some of the other drivers who have yet to pit and everyone else who's on these fresh tires as they come across the line. A lot of things still to play out for them as they work their way through. And of course, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by RL Productions. RL Productions is a video marketing agency specializing in digital advertising and event solution. RL Production offers custom brand strategies tailored to your organization's unique goals with in-house level attention to detail for digital and broadcast advertising. Their productions professionals offering start-to-finish event services for your conference, convention, or event, from staging and lighting to live show productions and complete presentations. Visit rlproductionscrew.com to turn your company's goals into real-life productions. As more pit stops are happening, Bo Condon, Bobby Grant on pit road. Justin Clapper has yet to come down pit road at the moment. We'll see who else will join some of these drivers here. Jordan Durasic, he has yet to pit as well. So when will he come down pit road as several drivers go around him to get their lap back?
Not yet.
Not this time. He's still got enough fuel to keep going for a little bit longer, and I'm pretty sure he's hoping for a late race caution.
What a great night, though. He hasn't left the top 10 all night.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just shows the skill that Durasic has to continue on racing. I got to say, if the opportunity allows it, Jordan Durasic could be a competitor in the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying series, I have to say, by just how consistent he is week in and week out.
What you doing tomorrow, Jordan?
Who knows? We may see him racing in the qualifying series as Thomas Kohick goes to the inside of Matthew Montgomery. Shepsis tries to follow suit. Can't quite get there yet, so he will have to wait another corner, but opens the door for Olazewski to get to his inside, who gets loose off turn 2.
Yeah, very common. That's what we've seen that tonight. Cars just getting loose as they try and make a pass down below.
With that, as we come to a close here for tonight's race, we're going to take our final commercial break before we take you all the way to the checkered flag. You're watching the 2024 Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC Incorporated live on Grid Vision.
Racing
Under 15 laps to go here in tonight's racing action for the Throwback 150 at Texas Motor Speedway live on Grid Vision. Jordan Durasic, who has yet to pit, leads the charge by 2.8 seconds over Thomas Kohick. Olazewski, Lechensky, and Shepsis right at your top five. But the question is going to be, can Boundy and Cherry close the gap before the end of this race? They currently are in the top 10 now. Cherry in 9th, Boundy in 10th at the moment. And, of course, for those of you wondering, well, how is the Dash for Cash looking? Currently, right now, it will be Jordan Durasic who would get the $50 for the Drive for Cash here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. A lot of great racing action still to come here as they work their way down the back straightaway. We're going to get 10 laps to go next time by for your race leader, Jordan Durasic. The question is going to be, does he have enough fuel, though, Darby? Where can he make it on the end? Does he have to pit? Does he feel like he has enough of a gap to hold off Cherry and Boundy? They're about 13 seconds back from your race leader.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea, but just knowing how Jurassic drives and stuff, like, I would have expected him to pit right now. So I think he can either he figured he had no hope at all in this race, or he's good to go.
Currently himself, along with Kohick and Lechensky, have 47-lap-old tires and haven't pitted in 47 laps. So it's a big strategy call for them indeed, as we see one car coming around to try to get his lap back. That's the 0-2 of Brandon Slew, who is throwing it back to Hermie Sadler back in the early 2000s. So a great drive for him, as he is currently not having the best of nights, though, sitting 26, 3 laps down.
And what is that paint based off?
Well, it's Hermie Sadler's. It was the driver who drove that paint color. I don't remember the sponsor, though. I was looking up some of his notes. He didn't tell us what the sponsor was, other than this college he is currently driving for tonight.
All right, I was thinking Looney Tunes.
Well, let's find out.
Well, that's what it reminds me of, at least.
Well, as field works their way around the circuit, still closing in, under 10 laps to go. And here is the driver of the number 8 of Olazewski, who's having a good run. He's trying to hold on strong for the time being, as he currently sits in second place. He's got Lachinski right there behind him, trying to put the pressure on him. So far, not working out for him, though, as they work their way through the middle of the corner. Working their way through the middle of the corner here, keeping an eye on the competition. Oh, and I figured it out. So, you see, of course, the driver of... Oh, it is the James Madison University machine that he drove back in 2003. So it's the same exact paint scheme that Hermie Sadler drove.
Oh, okay. There we go.
There we go. Problem solved. The internet sleuths win tonight.
Yeah,
there
you just type in what her name in the J-ski and get the answer, pretty much.
No, well, no, I was basically just typed in Hermie Sadler paint schemes and tried to find the paint scheme. I thought at first it was kind of a throwback to his Virginia Tech paint scheme that he had, and then the O2 machine, of course, is just driving his preferred college instead. Turns out, Hermie Sadler did drove a James Madison University Bulldogs machine back in 2003. But for Jordan Durasic, he is currently holding strong. He's 3.7 seconds ahead, under coming now to 5 laps ago from Barty the Flagman, who will give him the big high five as they come out of turn number 4. And he's pitting. He's pitting now. He does not have enough fuel to make it to the end. Olazewski will be your race leader in the Bud car. Now, can he make it to the end? Currently, Olazewski has 44 laps. Has been on the track for 44 laps, so he's out there a little longer, but about 10 laps short or earlier or later than your race leader was at one point. As the caution is out.
This changes everything.
Thomas Kohick loops it around on the off of turn 2. And you are right, Darby. This changes everything.
This with the revelation of those cars coming down the pits, this turned into Sean Bounty's race to win or to lose, and now who knows? Oh, 45.
Ooh, Matt Garrett giving him a little bit of a nudge, or Matt Cherry giving a little bit of a nudge to Kohick, and that's going to send him to the tail end of the longest line for sure.
Very unfortunate. I don't like seeing a car in the situation like Matt Cherry was in, being involved in a wreck like that. But he does look to benefit from it.
Well, that would put him out of the chance to win the big money, as well as Olazewski, Shepsis will come down pit road. Sean Bounty will retain the race lead. How about Christopher Tate getting back up to second place? Still trying to figure out the paint scheme. The closest thing I can think of that he is driving is kind of a throwback to Dale Jarrett in that number 30 machine. Dale Jarrett did drive a couple of flame paint schemes with the UPS sponsorship. Of course, we prefer him to drive the van.
That actually, it does look like, yeah, that does look like the old UPS Flames one. Now that you say it.
The only thing is, I think that the paint scheme is more, the main paint is black instead of brown, as it should be.
The one paint I'm looking at, it was black.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, that's gotta be it.
So we are about to go into green, white, checkered, possibly. Our first attempt of a green, white, checkered.
No.
Sean Bounty.
Yes, it will be.
Yes, so this is our overtime. Of course, we really didn't have overtime in this era of race cars. So goes as follows. Sean Bounty and Todd Lead will be your front row. Durasic and Olazewski in row 2. Shepsis and Cherry, row 3. Garrett and Aaron, row 4. De Blasi and Koner round out your top 10.
It honestly would have been kind of cool to see a finish like back then when they're all pacing and the cars in front are just trying to make it on fuel. And then the odd car never had it. And Corner in chat says he had enough fuel.
He did have enough fuel, so that would have been a good night for him if we were able to keep it clean and green. And also, if you think about it, if we did it like the old school rules back in the Gen 4 era as well, Darby, where lap cars were on the outside.
Yeah. It would be make things a lot more interesting for the likes of Lashinsky and Condon. Another caution. They're on the lead lap. But I'm a man of modern tastes. I like the way things are nowadays.
I have to agree, as the lights are out on the pace car. So here we go. Our first attempt of a green-white checkered. And looks like Cherry's going to hold on to his position after that. They did not give any penalties out for that. So the field will work their way down the back straightaway here. Can Boundy get a good jump on the field to hold off Todd Lee? We're about to find out here. As the field works their way through, out of turn number 4, Fred, the pace car driver, makes the hard left turn onto pit road. The Pine Gulf green flag is in the air, and we're back at it for our first attempt of green-white checkered. A little bit of wheel spin for several drivers. One car in the wall. That's the 66 machine of Robert Walton. And we're going to pile them up a little bit. Can we keep it clean and green? No caution yet. We're going to still race on through the middle of turn 3 and 1 and 2, down the back straightaway, and here comes Durasic with a head of steam across the front back straightaway, heading off. Cherry down to the inside as they're 3 wide for second. Out of turn number 4, the RL Productions white flag is in the air. Time to bring it home as Jordan Durasic leads the charge down into turns 1 and 2 for the final time. Behind him, Cherry and Olazewski will battle for second. Boundy just getting swallowed up by all the cars who took tires as he falls further and further back into the field. But for Jordan Durasic in that number 6 Ruthless Racing Chevrolet, he will continue his dominant streak and as well earn an extra $50 on the board. Your winner, Jordan Durasic.
Yeah, Jurassic, I'm surprised neither of us took him tonight, but very, very talented driver, and congratulations to the driver of the 6.
And a big congratulations to Andrew Olazewski, Thomas Aaron, and Matt Garrett, as they will join Durasic next week at Talladega for a chance of them to go win $50. So as Jordan will come around, let's see if he'll give us a little bit of a burnout right here. In the red, white, and blue Ruthless Racing machine, throwing it back to 4-time champion Jeff Gordon. And he'll burn it down right here on the front straightaway. Of course, fun fact, Jeff Gordon only got 1 career win at Texas Motor Speedway. One of the toughest tracks he's always tried to get a victory at. Didn't get it, though, till about 2009, if I remember correctly. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have more great action and post-race coverage of tonight's race here. You're watching the Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC Incorporated, live on Grid Vision. Welcome back to Grid Vision's coverage of the Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC Incorporated. Here is your final result. Jordan Jurassic will be your race winner, followed by Andrew Olazewski, Thomas Aaron in third, Matt Garrett, Matt Cherry in fourth and fifth. TJ DeBlasi will be in sixth, followed by Gregory Shepsis in seventh. Christopher Tate, Todd Lee, and Joshua Koner rounds out your top 10. Sean Boundy, Brandon Schumann, Noah Rainwater, and Robert Colgan and Robert Walton will be through the 15th position, with Anthony Burleson, Stephen Lachensky, Chase Albright, and Matthew Montgomery and Greg McConey rounds out your top 20. 21st goes to Bo Condon, followed by Matt Holmes, Bobby Grant, Brandon Slew, and Thomas Kohick, your top 25. Justin Clapper in 26th, then it's Kyle Newkirk, Ryan Zunk, Damian Neeson, and Daniel Lyle, your cars that did not finish tonight's racing action. With that, we'll get a chance to talk to some of our finishers here tonight. We're going to start with Thomas Aaron, who joins us up here in the booth, who comes home in P3. Thomas, it was a great run for you tonight. You were inside the top 5 for a majority of the race, but unfortunately don't get the $50, but come home and have a chance to try again next week at Talladega.
Oh yeah, overall really good run. I think this car is the best car on the service. Mix that up with an old hot track, starting at noon in the sim, and it's just recipe for a good time. We ran up front all day. Didn't really have much time to practice this week, but because of that, I was really happy with my pace. And it's always good talking to y'all after the races.
Absolutely, and of course you're throwing it back to Steve Park, I'm guessing. So I gotta say, are we gonna see more throwback paints for you this year? This is some of the fun we've had here tonight, trying to guess and reminisce some of the history of NASCAR.
Oh yeah, man, I was a huge Dale Earnhardt Incorporated fan whenever I was a kid, and Steve Park always had a special place in my heart, even though Dale Earnhardt Jr. was my favorite. Always loved Steve. And always love running the throwbacks. Another one that I like to run is Alan Kawicki. Owner driver, won a championship. He was a mechanical engineering graduate, just like myself, and I kind of strive to be just like that, or have him be my guidance through my career in the sport. So yeah, definitely you'll probably see an Alan Kawicki later this year.
Absolutely, we look forward to it. That's Thomas Aaron coming home in P3. Next, joining us up is Andrew Olazewski, and he is with our very own Austin Derbyshire.
Good evening, Andrew. Thanks for joining us in the booth. How was that race for you?
Man, it was a lot of up and downs for sure.
Yeah, going all the way from P26, finishing second. How were you feeling before we had that caution there right at the end?
I was feeling probably like everybody does when there's a few laps left and the win is right in front of you, and then that caution comes out. Not very great, but I was not too let down just because everybody that pitted before was most likely going to pit again because they pit, 20-something, 30 laps before, so I wasn't feeling too bad, but obviously I would much have rather it not been a caution there. So.
And how, coming up to that caution, you were good to make it to the end from what we're hearing?
Yeah. The previous caution before that run that I was involved in, I pit, so I had enough gas. I think I was good by maybe a lap or two. So yeah, I was cruising and all good for the most part.
Well, either way, with the caution, whether you were going to catch the lead or not, when it did come out, you still come home P2. What are your thoughts on the schedule going in next week?
To be honest, I'm not even sure where we're going next week, but I'm looking forward to it either way. I just want to string a lot more good races together. I had not the greatest couple races like the past two, so it feels good to come out second in this race. So just going to try to do it again.
Well, the gauntlet's definitely been laid. You're not allowed to look at the schedule until next week. With that, anyone you need to thank that makes your car go around?
Yeah, I'll thank, I think my mom and dad were both watching today. My girlfriend was watching, probably in the chat. So yeah, I just appreciate them watching and cheering me on.
Well, thank you for joining us, and you definitely did have a lot of support in the chat today. I'd probably say you were probably one of the ones with the most amount of support.
All right, cool. Well, it paid off.
Have a great night.
Thanks, dude.
And we are now joined by our race winner, of course, Mr. Jordan Durasic joins us up in here in the booth. Jordan, I got to say, a stellar drive for you here tonight to take home the win and be a $50 richer as well.
Oh, man, you just hit me with some good news. I completely forgot about that. But, man, that win was just sweet. I mean, it was the ones that are unexpected are just more sweeter. And, yeah, we tried the alternate strategy, and the caution couldn't have came out at a better time. At a couple races ago at Phoenix, we had a caution come out right as we were coming in the pits. So it feels good to be on the good end of this. And we hadn't pushed the car all race on early in the run, so to flip the switch was to trust the car that was going to stick around those corners, especially when passing cars. It was real sketchy, but I'm glad we got to the white flag, and I was just hoping the car could just stay on the track and just get to the checkered flag. So I'm real proud of our Ruthless Racing team and our JCR team.
Absolutely, and of course, throwing it back to Jeff Gordon as well with your paint scheme. Anyone you like to give a shout out to or thank you to tonight?
I just want to give a big shout out to our partners, Ruthless Racing. They have been one of the best all season that I've worked with. We got them our second win with them on the car, so I classify them as good luck. But yeah, throwing back to my favorite driver, Jeff Gordon, and his scheme. I believe it was the Coke 600 in 2010. Could give or take a couple years, but yeah, I'm just proud to be able to get Jeff Gordon's scheme a win, and it's actually my home track, so it's just much more sweeter.
Can't go wrong with winning at your home track as well. Well, Jordan, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you next week at Talladega.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one.
Jordan Durasic, your race winner. And of course, we have more great racing action still to come here this week on Grid Vision. And it all kicks off Friday night for Friday Night Top Split as we're back here in the Lone Star State at Texas Motor Speedway. And of course, don't forget, Saturday, well, we're going to go to the land down under as we head to Mount Panorama at Bathurst for the Major Series as they race TCR cars for some exciting racing action up the mountain. We hope to have you on joining us on Grid Vision. But for us here tonight, we have to say a big thank you to all our amazing partners here at Grid Vision, as well as the amazing cameras from Andrew Cardinal and Whiplash Cameras. Of course, we have to say for our amazing producer and commentator tonight, Austin Derbyshire, I'm Taylor Burris. Thank you for tuning in to the Thunderclap iRacing series presented by TLC, and we'll see you on the grid.